They arrived at the restaurant, expecting to get their reserved table. But unfortunately, everything was booked. "What do you mean there's no table for my husband and me?" Adriana's voice sliced through the air, sharp and unforgiving. Her eyes blazed with rage as she glared at the young waitress. "You bumbling incompetent! You've lost our reservation. You've given away our table. How dare you? How dare you treat us like that?" Her voice was a razor-sharp whip, lashing the waitress with each word. "Do you know who we are? Do you know what we're capable of? We can buy and sell this dump 1,000 times over. We can make one phone call and have your job gone, your career ruined." The waitress, a tall, slender woman with her hair neatly tied back in a ponytail, tried to maintain her composure. "I'm very sorry, ma'am, but we are fully booked tonight. There's nothing available." Adriana's face contorted with rage. She stepped closer, hitting the counter angrily with her fist, causing the wine bottles on the counter to fall off and break into pieces. "This is unacceptable. I want to speak to your manager right now. How dare you treat us like that?" Michael placed a calming hand on Adriana's arm, but she shook him off, her anger only intensifying. "Don't touch me, Michael. Don't even think about it. This is all your fault, you spineless worm. If you hadn't dawdled like a snail getting ready, we wouldn't be in this nightmare. She shrieked as she pointed her hand sternly at Michael. The waitress, visibly trembling, tried to reason with her. "Ma'am, I truly apologize, but there's nothing I can do. All our tables are occupied." Adriana's hand twitched, as if she was about to strike the waitress, and her face twisted into a sneer. "You are useless, you bloody fool. How dare you speak to me like that? I demand service, and I demand it now." By now, the entire restaurant had fallen silent, all eyes on the unfolding drama. The tension was palpable, and the other diners watched with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Michael attempted to intervene again. "Adriana, please, let's not make a scene. All eyes are on you as if you're a mad woman who just got loose. Don't worry, we'll find it somewhere else." But Adriana was beyond reasoning. "No, Michael, I want this restaurant. I'm not going anyway until they give us a table. We deserve to be treated with respect. I will not be humiliated like that." The waitress, her voice barely a whisper, said, "Please, ma'am, there's truly nothing I can do. If you could wait just a moment, I'll try to find a solution." As she went out to place a call, Adriana scoffed, her laughter cold and mocking as she folded her arms like an evil queen, ready to destroy anyone that came into her path. "You better, or you'll regret it. And make it fast. I don't have much time to waste in this goddamn place." She turned away, her posture rigid with indignation, leaving the waitress visibly shaken and on the verge of tears. The entire restaurant seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Just as her eyes roamed around the restaurant, Adriana caught sight of a familiar face. She froze, her breath hitching. "Wait, hold up!" She blinked rapidly and rubbed her eyes, certain she must be hallucinating. But the figure remained solid and real. It was Sophia, laughing elegantly, her teeth gleaming like pearls. She looked different, transformed, like a model straight out of Vogue. Adriana's heart raced. Sophia was alive. She was here. Adriana's mind spiraled back to everything they had done to her. The humiliation, the betrayal. Her heart skipped a beat as a chilling realization set in. Sophia had returned, and she was here to make them all pay. Adriana's hands trembled uncontrollably as she tapped Michael with shaking fingers, her eyes glued to Sophia's radiant figure. Michael, in the midst of apologizing to the waitstaff for Adriana's outburst, felt her frantic tapping. He turned to her, irritation simmering in his eyes. "What now, Adriana? Speak," he barked, exasperation lacing his voice as he saw her standing there, silent and trembling. Michael, Lou, look," Adriana stammered. Her voice barely a whisper, she pointed a quivering finger in Sophia's direction, her face pale as a ghost. Fear was etched in every line of her features. "What on earth are you pointing at, Adriana?" "My patience is wearing thin," he muttered, turning to follow her gaze. And then he saw her. Sophia Maxwell, the fiancée he had betrayed and left in ruins. She was right there, laughing and looking impossibly elegant. Michael's eyes widened in shock, his breath catching in his throat. The glass of water he had been holding slipped from his grasp, crashing to the floor and shattering into countless pieces. His mind raced, trying to comprehend the impossible sight before him. How could Sophia be here, looking so unscathed, so radiant? He felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. Michael's mind raced, his heart pounding against his ribs like a drumbeat of dread. Sophia, alive and well, was there in the same restaurant. They had to get out before she saw them. He glanced at Adriana, her face drained of color, eyes wide with panic. "We need to leave now," he whispered urgently, his voice tight with fear. Adriana nodded frantically, her hands trembling as she fumbled for her purse. "Yes, Michael, we can't let her see us, not after everything." They moved swiftly, weaving through tables and dodging curious glances from other diners who sensed the tension in the air. Each step felt like an eternity, every passing second a torment of uncertainty and guilt. Michael's thoughts raced back to the past, the betrayal and the pain they had caused Sophia. How could they have been so careless to come to this restaurant, of all places? His pulse quickened as they neared the exit, their escape route finally in sight. Just as they reached the door, a voice cut through the din behind them. "Michael, Adriana, leaving so soon?" Adriana froze, her heart plummeting to the pit of her stomach. She can recognize that voice, even in her sleep. She turned slowly, dread pooling in her gut as she met Sophia's gaze. Her expression was cold and calculating, a mask of disdain that sent shivers down his spine. "We meet again," Sophia mumbled, a smirk playing on her lips. Their eyes widened with fear, as if they'd seen a ghost. In a way, they had. But this ghost wasn't here to haunt. It was here to dismantle them, piece by piece. Revenge was going to unfold, and they had nowhere to hide.